I was a pretty young trooper. I actually started on the other side of the state over in Idaho Falls, and I had a very smart supervisor. He was my sergeant at the time. He's long since retired. Who he was smart in that he said, "Hey, have you ever done Shop with a Cop before?" And you're familiar with Shop with a Cop?
No.
The program?
No.
So Shop with a Cop it's pretty much done statewide, but you'll have businesses that will donate money, and for instance, they'll give it to a sheriff's department or a state agency or whatever, and they'll say, "Hey, bring some children in from the school and then use that money," and they partner them up with a law enforcement officer, and then they go shopping for their family. And it's, it's all paid for, and these businesses donate this money. And oftentimes they reach out to school districts and say, "Hey, send us the name and addresses of some kids that really could use the help. Maybe kids that don't quite get a Christmas." And so we'll specifically highlight it and find kids that meet that need, and then we'll bring them in. Well, I was asked my very first year on as a trooper to participate in the Shop with a Cop. And my sergeant was very smart in doing this. He recognized a brand new trooper. We want to get them out into the public, get them used to dealing with the public so that not everybody's a criminal. We're there to help. And I remember showing up at this particular event. It was at a Fred Meyer in Idaho Falls. And I was given an envelope, and there was $200 in it, and there were two names. They were twin boys, Roger and Reynold. And all I knew is Saturday morning I was showing up there at 8 a.m. And I showed up there at this Fred Meyer, and Roger was there. And I said, "Hey, I thought you have a brother named Reynold." He said he's not feeling well, so he can't make it in. And so me and Roger, we went through the store and started shopping, and then we get to his brother, and we said, "What do you want to get for your brother?" Now, this is going to take you way back in time, but the toy of the year that year was this was in 2000 or 2001, is one of the two. Do you remember Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they had a doll that was probably this big, and it was a plastic doll, and its arms moved, and you could push a button. And
it's like,
yeah,
and the wings pop out.
Did you have this toy?
I mean, we have like 3 at my house right now.
All right. So this was like the first year that this thing came out. It was that long ago. And he wanted to get that for his brother in a bad way. And so, Toy Story was the big show. And so they had Toy Story aisles. So we're going down the toys and everything, and we see where that toy should be. And it's empty. They're not there. And I said, well, let's go up to the customer service desk. Maybe they got some in the back. So we go up to the customer service desk. The lady types in some stuff. And remember, we're in Idaho Falls. And she says, there's none here, but there's one in Boise. And, he gets excited, but he also doesn't understand time and distance. And I'm like, bud, there's just no way. That thing's 4.5, 5 hours away. There's just no way we can get that. So we go back, and I remember he purchased like this cup and saucer set for his brother. It was a Buzz Lightyear cup and saucer set. And we finish off he goes. And then I remember thinking to myself, can I get that doll? I wonder how I can get that. And I had just went through the police academy with a Boise PD officer, and we were pretty good friends. And I called him and said, "Hey, is there any way you can run to that Fred Meyer? I will call the store and have him hold it. Is there any way you can run down there and grab that?" And so he's like, "Yeah." So 15, 20 minutes goes by. He calls me back. He says, "Hey, I'm holding this doll. What do you want me to do with it?" I said, "Great. While you were on the phone, I got a hold of a trooper in Boise. He's going to meet you." And then he ends up meeting him, giving him that trooper in Boise. Trooper calls me from Boise. "Hey, I've got this doll, and I don't even know these people. I'm so new, right?" And he says, "What do you want me to do with this?" "Great. I've just called a trooper that's in Mountain Home. Is there any way you can drive and meet him halfway?"
Oh, my God.
So all of a sudden, the Mountain Home guy calls me. "Hey, what do you want me to do?" "Hey, I'm glad you have that doll. Can you start making your way toward Jerome? I have a trooper that's going to meet you that way." We call this like the Buzz Lightyear run of 2000, right? The Jerome guy gets it. Jerome makes a call. I said, "Hey, there's a trooper that's headed just toward Pocatello. Can you meet him?" So this thing makes its way all the way around. Toward the end of the shift, I'm getting close to the end of my day, and I'm sitting in a crossover right on the interstate just outside of Idaho Falls. And this trooper from Blackfoot finally has this and shows up, and he hands me this thing. And I thank him. And by this time, I'd figured out where this family lived. So I made my way over to this home, knocked on the door, and this little boy that I went shopping with earlier, Roger, opens the door, and I'm holding this thing. And his mom comes to the door, and she's so excited. And I said, "Hey, this is what he wanted to get his brother for Christmas. I'm just going to give it to you." And she says, "No, you're going to come in here right now. A trooper in uniform. You have this doll. You're going to come in here right now. I want you to give it to him now." So I go inside, and to say that this kid was a Buzz Lightyear fan just doesn't do it justice. As I walked into the house, I go to his bedroom, and over the door, there was a big life-size painting that the mother had done of Buzz Lightyear. And on the top, it said, "You are now entering Star Command," right? Like perfect for this little boy. You walk in his room, and the wallpaper's Buzz Lightyear. His comforter's Buzz Lightyear. There's Buzz Lightyear everywhere. And then it isn't until right then that it dawns on me what I'm walking into is Reynold, his brother, was a little boy that had cancer and was hoping to feel better and to be able to make it to that shop with a cop. I can tell you that of my 26 years, my favorite moment is that hour I spent with that little boy playing with that doll. That 1 hour. And when I first signed on to be a trooper with ISP, I hoped I would make a difference in someone's life, but I always thought that it would be arresting the bad guy or writing the ticket or taking someone to jail. Never did I think it would be an hour with a toy, with a little boy, that would really be my moment in wearing this uniform. I don't know, about 3 or 4 weeks later, I get a call from his mom. She might have heard that I really like peanut butter cookies. And so she makes a plate of cookies for me. She comes down to the office and she says, "I want you to know how excited I was that you're able to do that." And I said, "No, it's not a problem. Thanks for the cookies." I said, "How's he doing?" And she said, "That's why I'm here. He actually passed away a few days ago. But what you need to know is that when I asked him what he wanted to be buried with, he picked that doll. And you need to know that. That has impacted me and motivated me for 26 years. And I can tell you that I have tried really hard to instill that into the people that have either worked for me or worked with me, that it isn't, trying to be the big badge heavy cop out there that's out there making a difference. You can make a difference with somebody by just simply treating them as a human being and spending time with them. And if we can all come to that conclusion together, that's what changes things. That, to go back to your earlier thing, is what keeps Idaho, Idaho. Is how we treat people.